Grant kept his hand raised for a moment longer than anyone expected. Then he lowered it and looked straight at Jack. "Jack," he said calmly, "why does your analyst not know about her bonus?" Jack laughed too loudly. "It's a mix-up. Grant, you know year-end chaos. Nelly probably overlooked an email." "I check my email," I said quietly. Jack's smile twitched. "Sure, but you've been swamped. These things slip." Grant didn't move, didn't blink, didn't argue. He just watched us with that unsettling stillness of someone who already suspects the truth and is waiting to see who lies first. The silence pressed on my ribs. Jack kept talking too fast, too casual, until Grant finally stepped back. "We will review it," Grant said. "Enjoy the evening." But the warmth never returned. Conversations thinned around us, people offering me little glances before pretending not to. Jack leaned closer, voice tight. "You embarrassed me," he hissed. "You touched my arm. You should have stayed quiet." His fingers brushed his tie, the same nervous tick he'd had in the parking lot that morning. I didn't answer him. I didn't trust what might come out of my mouth. Instead, I grabbed my coat and slipped out before dessert. At home, I stood in my tiny kitchen with my phone in my hand, still hearing Grant's voice echoing over the clinking glasses. I opened my banking app. Nothing. No deposit. No pending transaction. No bonus. I sat down and logged into the payroll portal. The screen loaded, and one line made my stomach twist. "Bonus paid manual redirect." I had never seen those words before. I took a screenshot, then sent a short message to HR explaining the issue. I barely had time to breathe before their reply popped up less than 2 minutes later. "Processing delay. Please wait. No greeting. No signature. No explanation. Just a door slamming shut." I stared at the message, and suddenly Jack's morning anger, the spilled coffee, the rush, the sharp voice clicked into place. It hadn't been annoyance. It had been fear. On Monday morning, I went straight to the accounting bay before I even opened my email. Kelly Stroud was already at her desk, her glasses halfway down her nose, fingers moving over a calculator the way other people scroll their phones. "Hey, Kelly," I said, trying to keep my voice level. "Do you have a second?" She glanced up, read my face, and pushed her chair back a few inches. That kind of tone before 9 means trouble. "Sit." I lowered my voice. "My bonus shows as paid in the system. Manual redirect, but nothing hit my account." Her smile faded. "Manual redirect. That is not a phrase I like. You have seen it before." Kelly hesitated, then exhaled. I saw it on mine. Not the whole amount. My bonus this year was short by almost a third. When I checked, it said something similar. I told myself it was a reclassification. "Did you talk to anyone? I have a mortgage," she said quietly. "And a kid about to start college." I talked myself out of talking. Behind us, someone wheeled a chair past. A guy from sales leaned in. "You two talking bonuses," he whispered. Mine did not match the email either. Another voice from the next pod. "Same." They all went silent at once, like they had heard themselves say too much. Kelly shook her head. "Let it go. Nelly," she murmured. "Year-end is political. People who ask questions get labeled. I already asked?" I said, in front of Grant Maddox. Kelly closed her eyes for a second. "Then you are not invisible anymore." Back at my desk, I opened the shared project tracker. My name, which had been next to the holiday rollout campaign for weeks, was gone. Assigned to Team Lead Open, I clicked into my performance folder. The major report I had submitted Friday night had vanished. No file, no previous version, no error message. When Grant walked through the operations floor an hour later, the noise level dropped. He did not speak, just scanned the room with that same quiet focus from the party. Jack walked out of his office, saw Grant, and abruptly changed direction, pretending to study the copy machine. Jack caught me just as I stepped out of the restroom. He gestured toward an empty meeting room like he was inviting me to a casual chat, but the tightness around his jaw said otherwise. "Come in for a second," he said. The door clicked shut behind us. Jack leaned against the table, arms crossed, wearing a smile that never touched his eyes. "So," he began lightly, "your little moment at the Christmas party. That could have gone better." I answered a question. I said, "You answered the wrong way." His tone sharpened. "You created a problem that did not need to exist." "I did not create anything. I said I never got the bonus." Jack's smile widened, thin and cold. "You do not want trouble. Nelly, the bonus mix-up is a system thing. These things fix themselves. You need to drop it." "That sounds like a warning." He straightened. "It is advice." "No," I said quietly. "It is a warning." Jack stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Grant Maddox is looking for excuses to clean house. Do not let him use you as an example." I opened the door without answering. Jack didn't stop me. That night, around 11, my phone buzzed. A system notification lit up the screen. Unauthorized access attempt on user files 213A, M, previous night. I sat up, heart hammering. Someone had tried to enter my project folders. I took screenshots of every alert, then opened the payroll portal again. The line that had read manual redirect now said administrative reassignment. Same meaning, different wording. Someone was rewriting my trail. Before I could process it, an email from CEO Grant hit all inboxes. Short, controlled, year-end audit integrity is our priority. Any data alterations will be investigated thoroughly. People murmured in the group chats. Jack did not come out of his office the entire morning. The next time I saw him, his hands were shaking when he picked up his coffee. I waited until lunch to message Ethan Cole. He was one of the few people in the building who never gossiped and never asked questions he didn't need answers to. "Me, can you look at something for me?" Quietly. "Ethan, if it's about your bonus, meet me in the sub-level lab." The sub-level lab was the only place in the building where IT could work without half the office leaning over their shoulders. Ethan was already at his workstation when I walked in. Sleeves rolled up, dark hair falling over his forehead. "Show me what you've got," he said. I handed him my phone with the screenshots. He scanned them, eyebrows lifting slightly. "Manual redirect is not a normal tag," he murmured. "Someone overrode the routing table. In English, it means your money was told to go somewhere else," he typed quickly, moving into a secure sandbox environment. He wasn't supposed to run traces without a ticket, but he did anyway carefully, leaving no footprints. A few minutes later, he exhaled sharply. "Found it." My throat tightened. "Where did it go?" "To the manager's discretionary pool," he said. "Only department heads can access it. And look whose authorization shows up." He turned the screen toward me. Jack Halpern manual adjustment approval. The room felt smaller. He rerouted it. Ethan's voice stayed low. "Not just yours." He scrolled down. 4 more names appeared, employees I knew, people who had been complaining quietly all month that something felt off but had never connected the dots. "Same redirect code," Ethan said. "Same approval chain. Same destination." "Ethan, that's theft." "It is theft hidden inside internal budget rules." I gripped the edge of the desk to steady myself. Jack hadn't made a one-time mistake. He had a system, a pattern, a method, and my $10,000 bonus was only one piece of it. Word travels fast in a building like ours. By the next morning, people were not looking at me directly anymore. They were looking near me, around me, as if eye contact might drag them into whatever was happening. Around 10, my phone buzzed with a name I had not seen in months. "Marissa Clark. Did Jack mess with your bonus?" I stared at the message, then typed back. "Me. How did you hear that Marissa old team chat?" "Someone mentioned the Christmas party." "Call me." I stepped into an empty stairwell and hit dial. Marissa picked up on the first ring. "Nelly," she said, No small talk. Tell me exactly what happened. Grant announced a $10,000 bonus with my name on it. I said, I never got it. The system shows it was redirected to the manager's discretionary pool under Jack's approval. She was silent for a moment. When she spoke again, her voice had that brittle edge I recognized from people holding something in too long. He did the same thing to me 2 years ago. She said, my bonus just never appeared. Payroll showed some internal adjustment. Jack told me it was a bandwidth trade for a promotion the following year. The promotion never came. You never reported it. I was already on anxiety meds, Marissa said. Single mom, medical debt, no savings. I could not risk being labeled difficult. I quit instead. The staircase felt colder. So he has been doing this for years. He picks people he thinks will not fight, she said. People who need the job more than they need justice. After we hung up, I opened a new document and started a log. Dates, names, screenshots, Jack's approval codes, HR's responses. I copied everything onto a small external drive and slid it into the bottom of my bag. An email from finance pinged a few minutes later a request from CEO Grant Maddox for a full departmental spending summary, including discretionary funds. Out on the floor, monitors lit up with spreadsheets. Conversations dropped. When Jack read the email, his hand tightened so hard around his pen that it snapped in half. HR called me down just after lunch. The message was written in the usual soft corporate tone, brief compliance clarification meeting. Please arrive within 10 minutes. That phrasing always meant trouble. Allison Briggs, the senior HR rep, was already seated when I walked in. She smiled like she was greeting a guest at her home, not an employee she planned to corner. Nelly, she said gently, thank you for coming. We just need to clear up a few misunderstandings. I did not realize there were misunderstandings. I replied, Allison folded her hands. Regarding your bonus concerns, sometimes employees jump to conclusions when systems lag. It is year-end. Tensions rise. People misread things. I read my payroll log. I said. It said, manual redirect. Her smile didn't budge. Words on a screen can be misleading. And misunderstandings can influence performance evaluations. She paused, letting the implication settle. It would be best for everyone if you let the matter go. That sounds like a warning. It is guidance, she said, still smiling. We do not want this to escalate. For your sake. I stood. Is that all? Yes. And Nelly. She tilted her head. Let it rest. Back at my desk, 2 new alerts popped up: files missing or inaccessible. They weren't even files I opened today. Someone was pruning my work history piece by piece, before panic could take over. I opened the internal audit portal and typed a single, carefully neutral message, requesting clarification. Why does my record show bonus status changed to manual redirect? No accusation, simply trying to understand internal process. I hit send. I expected nothing. A black hole. Maybe another HR message telling me to trust the system. Instead, 40 minutes later, a notice flagged across the upper corner of my screen. CEO's office requests sealed copies of all December redirect logs. Immediate priority. The room didn't react, but I felt it, the air tightening, like the building itself had stopped to listen. I closed the audit window slowly, my pulse thudding in my ears. Someone far above Jack had just stepped into the mess. The office is almost empty when Jack appears at the edge of my cubicle. Tie loosened, eyes too bright. Conference room 3, he says. Now. His voice is flat, but his jaw jumps. I follow him down the hallway. The lights are dimmed for the evening, most of the doors already closed. He shuts the conference room door behind us and drops a folder on the table. Sit, he says. I stay standing. What is this? Jack opens the folder and slides a single page toward me. Correction acknowledgement. You sign this. We mark the whole thing as a misunderstanding, and it goes away. I read the first lines. I acknowledge that my understanding of my bonus status was incorrect and that internal records are accurate. Absolutely not. I say. Jack laughs once, harsh and thin. You are overreacting. Nobody stole anything. This is just a timing issue that got blown out of proportion. Then, fix the timing. I say, put the money where it was supposed to go. His smile vanishes. You do not dictate how management allocates funds. I am not dictating anything. I am asking you not to make me lie. Jack steps closer, lowering his voice until it is almost a growl. You have no idea what you are playing with. You sign that paper. You keep your job, your benefits, your stability. You keep your mouth shut, and everyone forgets this happened. I am not signing it. His composure snaps. You are ruining everything. He spits. For me. For this department. For yourself. He snatches the paper back, crumples it in his fist, and storms out, the door banging against the frame. I stand there alone, feeling my pulse in my fingertips. My phone buzzes on the table. It is a message from Ethan. Ethan Grant just accessed bonus logs from July through December. This is moving fast. The next morning, the rumor hits before I even hang up my coat. CEO Grant Maddox has scheduled a private meeting with the board. When Jack walks in, he is gray around the edges, like someone who slept with their fears wide awake. The all-hands meeting is packed tighter than I have ever seen it. People stand shoulder to shoulder, whispering until the room goes quiet on its own, the way a storm settles before the lightning hits. Grant Maddox steps onto the small stage with a thick folder in his hand. He does not ask for attention. He already has it. Nelly Whittaker, he says, looking directly at me. Jack Halpern. Finance? HR? Please come forward. My legs feel weightless as I walk up. Jack steps beside me, clutching his phone like a lifeline. Allison from HR joins us, face frozen in corporate calm. The head of finance stands stiff as a board. Grant opens the folder. Nelly never received her $10,000 bonus, he says. And this was not the first time an employee's compensation was altered without authorization. A ripple moves through the room, shock, anger, disbelief. Grant continues, voice even. I conducted manual traces on 6 months of bonus data. Over a dozen bonuses were redirected to the manager's discretionary fund. Every single authorization belonged to Jack Halpern. Jack blurts out, the system mislogged it. I can explain. Grant raises one hand. You ordered your analyst to stay quiet in front of me, because you were keeping her money. And you did the same to many others. Jack's face drains, then flushes, then contorts as he tries again. It was budget balancing. We were short. I was going to redistribute it later. The head of finance cuts in sharply. We were not short. All right, Grant says. That is enough. 2 security officers step forward. Jack stumbles back, shaking his head as they take his arms. You cannot do this, he mutters. You do not understand, but Grant does not look away. No one does. Jack is escorted through the aisle as the entire room watches him go. Grant called me into his office the morning after Jack was removed. No assistants, no formality. Just the 2 of us and a folder sitting on his desk. Close the door. Nelly, he said. I did. My hands were steady for the first time in days. Grant leaned forward. Thank you for not backing down. Most people would have walked away or stayed quiet. You did not. I did what I had to. I said. He opened the folder. The board met late last night. We approved a corrective action plan. Every employee who lost bonus money will receive it back with interest, and Jack Halpern will face legal consequences for internal financial fraud. I let out a slow breath. Good. There is more, Grant said. HR will undergo mandatory restructuring. That includes external oversight. This will not happen again. I nodded, unsure what to say. Grant tapped another document. And one more thing. I would like you to step in as temporary lead for the team Jack managed. Not permanently unless you want it. But I need someone who will tell the truth even when it is inconvenient. I hesitated. Why me? Because you already proved you can be trusted, he said. And because integrity matters more than title. I accepted quietly. When I walked out of the building later that afternoon, the air felt different, lighter, sharper, real. My son, Owen, was waiting in the parking lot, bundled in his navy coat. He spotted me and ran over, his grin wide. "You are done," he asked. "I am done," I said, completely. We headed toward the car, and for the first time in a long time, I felt safe in my own skin. Not because I had won anything, but because I had refused to let someone else decide my silence. If you're still here, drop a comment, hit like, or subscribe. Your support helps stories like this keep going.